everybody, we are here today with Coach Letha Elston. I have been looking forward to talking with this amazing lady. I'm going to read you her bio so that you know a little bit more about her. Okay, Coach Letha is a life and business coach and the best-selling author of MOVEOLOGY, a guide for women to tell their story, get unstuck, and discover purpose while moving forward. She is a ray of hope for women starting over and empowers women to rewrite their stories through her coaching business, Flow Life Academy, where she provides programs and tools for women to create the lives they desire. Her mission is to uplift other women by helping them to create tailored action plans that propel them to their next level of fulfillment. Letha specializes in helping women to get unstuck and create a healthy life flow, aiming to prevent and eliminate domestic abuse in Christian relationships. Wow, this is very powerful. What a powerful bio, Coach Letha Elston. I'm so happy to meet you here.
You know what? I've been looking forward to this interview as well, and I hope you can hear me. But yes, I've been looking forward to talking with you since the first time I met you online. And isn't it wonderful what technology has done so that we can stay in touch with one another? I am the world's only moveologist. I do help women to tell their story, to write a book, find their purpose, and create passive income. So yeah, that's kind of everything that I do to help the women in my circle of influence and where I'm going right now.
Wow, wow. That's awesome. And it's so important for women to support each other and uplift each other.
You're absolutely right. And I don't know if well, I didn't mention it in the bio, but for 21 years of my life, I was a former pastor's wife. And so women's ministry was like at the heart of a lot of what I did. And so, yes, I actually have three sisters. One sister passed away last year, but I mean, the whole relationship with women has been at the core of my life, since the beginning. And
Yeah,
I do feel like those relationships are very important.
yeah, yeah, I can see that. Well, your
Yes.
whole business is built around women.
Well, yeah. So, in life, there's so many things that happen where I don't want to say it's oppression, but there are things that are just not set up for women to succeed because, we live in a male-oriented society. And, when I look through the lens of God's eyes, because he looks at us all equally, we have equal opportunities. So, that's the way that I approach my coaching business as well. It is a faith-based coaching business. And, women have opportunities that sometimes they don't even see. And so I love pulling that out of ladies. And it's just so fun to watch them when, the light bulb goes off and they see, the potential that they have.
Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So your coaching business came before the book, is that correct?
that's absolutely correct. I started coaching in 2015, actually. I became a certified life coach. I
Okay.
wrote my first book, believe it or not, during the pandemic.
Hmm.
Um, and it was at the insistence of my husband. I'm on marriage number two. So the book was telling about my former life as a pastor's wife. And that book, it probably shows up on Amazon still, but it's not available because it's some reworking that's going on. I'm going to be redoing the book cover and what have you and putting it back out there.
Right.
And that book was called The Reflections of a Former Pastor's Wife.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. And then, of course, a couple of years later, I meet Dr. Jones, and I was able to, learn how to become a bestseller. It didn't take as long as
Mm.
I thought it would take because when I did the first book, now my husband pushed me to write it. Okay, I had the manuscript probably for 5 years,
Wow.
but what happened with the first book is it took me maybe 2 weeks to organize it and put it together because I had to learn the publishing process. But once I got it together, I was able to get it printed. And when I did get it printed, I was excited about that. I didn't know when I would do a second book, but when I met Dr. Jones, it was so much more fun going through the process of publishing this time because I felt like I knew what I was doing.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. Did you self-publish the first time as well?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Yes, I
okay,
did.
okay, okay. So can you tell me, how has the book, your second book, how has your second book, your best-selling book, affected your coaching business?
Oh my God, it's really been phenomenal. It's something that you almost can't describe because of the credibility that it gives you as a business person, as an author, and the fact that you accomplished something such as this. Like I said, it wasn't on my radar,
Yeah,
but after accomplishing it, then I kind of felt like I could do it again. So
right.
yeah. hmm
Okay,
and
so
I've
it gave
always,
you
yeah.
it gave you credibility.
Yes, as an author, and in my community,
Mhm.
as a matter of fact, the fact that I have been a bestseller kind of opened up some doors where I've had, at the top of the year already, a couple of speaking, engagements. There are more on the table.
Mm,
So yeah, it opens doors for you when you become a bestseller.
okay.
Yeah.
What were the what challenges have you faced in your coaching business?
Well, some of the challenges I would have to say, because life is always lifing, right? We, as people who write or who are creatives, you have to find the time to do it, number one, because life just doesn't let up. So you
Right.
kind of have to find your own place and space where that's concerned so that you can, accomplish what you're trying to do as an author. And I think that that's maybe time management has been the biggest challenge for me,
Mm, So can you
but
tell
still
me what,
doable.
yeah. So can you tell me what inspired your book, Moveology?
Oh my goodness. Prior to talking to Dr. Jones, I shared a story with him because I have always loved words. Um, I can remember when I was younger, I used to, write poetry and little short stories and stuff like that. But by the time I had gone to eighth grade, I was the student body president at my elementary school at the time. And at my graduation, I received the graduation scholarship award, and I also gave the student graduation speech. So there were
Okay.
some things that were kind of in the making already, and I had long forgot about them until I spoke to Dr. Jones about it when we were getting acquainted. And I told him that my grandmother was like my biggest cheerleader. And I would have to say a lot of my inspiration to write is because of her. I could go
Mm,
way deep with this because my grandmother was blind and she had leukemia. So my grandfather brought her to the graduation. I wasn't even expecting her to show up, but she came and she had, a card and a gift. And everybody knows that I like to journal and write. So I usually get, some really cool journals as
yeah.
gifts. But she said to me when I opened the card, there was a $20 bill in there. Remember, I'm only 13 or 14 years old. So she said, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to see a lot of these.
Mm,
It was like the first $20 bill anybody had ever given me or I had ever received. And, that light bulb did go off in my head, even at that age. But when
yeah.
you're young, you don't know how to put the factors together in terms of making money that way, as a writer and what have you. So I held on to that. And when I spoke to Dr. Jones as we were getting acquainted, it was like it sparked again, You know,
Mm,
what she did, it set something off in me,
yeah,
you know. Um, and I've kind of always done things outside of the box. So making money as a writer was very appealing to me.
yeah,
And I love the communication field. And prior to us coming on the screen here, I was sharing with you that I had worked in communications at a Christian broadcast for a number of years, and that also has been instrumental and inspirational as far as my still wanting to be a writer. I just think writing is something that I'll do until I die.
mm, yeah, yeah. And you said that you making money as a writer. Can you tell us how you make money? Is it from the actual selling of the books?
Well, when you sell the books, you're not going to make as much money as you would if you were a speaker. But what I have learned in the last couple of years is those are just two ways or two branches of being a writer that you can make money. And of course, you know, we have programs that we provide for the women so that they can, you know, have an action plan for their life to get to their next level, you know. So programs, group coaching, what have you, those are the ways that you actually make the larger part of your income.
So the programs that are based on the books?
Correct.
Oh, oh, I see, I see.
Yes, the program is based on the book. So Moveology came about because I liked when I am faced with a challenge, I stare the challenge down first of all, and I look it over through and through. And no, really, I see from top to bottom what has happened, what we can do to resolve it, and then try to come up with a plan to do just that. And I like to try to do it as quickly as possible because I don't really like being stuck. And so that's kind of where Movology came from to help
Yeah,
women get unstuck.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. You've had a lot of life experience in order to help these women, the women that you coach.
Absolutely. And one of the doors that opened for me a couple of years ago was to be able to address the women in my church. Once a month, I do that, and we talk about different domestic abuse issues, but we're able to have honest conversation along with scripture and a whole lot of you know, life experience being shared in that setting,
Yeah,
and it's been really really great. The thing that I do for them is I create a handout so that, you know, when they can't hear my voice any longer, they can still refer to the handout and, you know, look back on what we talked about.
yeah.
Hmm.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
So getting back to your book,
Yes, ma'am.
what challenges did you face while writing and publishing your book?
Ooh, this last time, you know, I feel like I felt again the pressures of life coming at me because
Mm,
there was so many, I call them attacks. There were so many attacks, even against my personal body. I am somebody that doesn't get sick. I know you know, I've been pretty healthy most of my life. And in the last year and a half, I've had like three bouts, two bouts with COVID and one with RSV. And
what's
so, you know,
RSV?
respiratory, I can't say essential virus. Yeah, and it's a very dangerous virus, and it's something that doesn't like babies or older people. So it's highly contagious,
Yeah.
and you have to pretty much quarantine the same way you would for COVID.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow, that sucks.
Yes,
You
so
had a
that
rough
happened.
time.
So when I was working with the second book, that, you know, all of that was going on, in addition to the
Right.
fact that I had a sibling, my sister, who's very close to me. She was ill and in the hospital and was in there for a long time, and then she passed away. but
Oh,
I still had to press and push and get, you know, the work done. And I did, and
yeah,
I'm very thankful that I was able to do that.
yeah,
It didn't feel good, but a lot of things in life don't feel good. We still have to do them. But once you get on the other side of it, you're very happy that you did.
yeah,
It's one of those things where you get to see, what kind of metal you have, what you're made out of.
right.
Yeah.
And can you tell me, like, can you tell me specifically, like, how you dug deep through those challenges to write and publish?
So during the time that I needed to write, I made sure that one, I did get my rest.
Okay.
Self-care, I would tell anybody that's doing this type of work, creative work, you do need your rest, and you have to pay attention to your body.
Yeah.
And so I was able to tune in more and do that, and then take better care of myself that way.
Yeah.
Self-care is very, very important. And again, the time management, being able to manage the time to write,
Yeah.
and then of course, have a schedule to plan when the publishing was going to take place, as well as the launch. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
all those components, once I decided on a schedule, I was able to, continue on and get it completed.
Right. And so
Hmm.
can you tell me a bit more about the launch?
Okay, so the launch was kind of scary. Now that was a component that was missing from the first time that I wrote a book.
Okay.
I had no launch, did not, achieve bestseller status with that book because I didn't know how. You can't do what you don't know.
Right.
So this time around, with that knowledge, I was able to do the launch, but it was very nerve wracking. You know,
Yeah.
it was exciting and nerve wracking,
Right.
but it was a great experience. And now that I've gone through it one time, I know how I would, handle myself the next time. So
Right.
that was
Right.
a
Right.
good experience. Mhm.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit more about how it, like, what was it about the launch that was nerve-wracking?
So as we were watching the numbers, first of all, I did not know what number we were reaching for, aiming for. I just wanted everybody to buy the book.
Yeah.
So yeah, watching the numbers go up was exciting. And
Yeah.
then here's something that happened during the launch. I wasn't conscious of it at first, but one of the authors that I really enjoy reading. She wrote "We Should All Be Millionaires."
Okay.
I can't remember her first name right now, but Rachel Rogers. Rachel Rogers wrote "We Should All Be Millionaires," and my book was number one, and she was number two at some point.
Oh,
So, like I said, that was
wow.
exciting.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. So
Uh-huh.
how did you get people to buy your book?
So I did do an email campaign. I did a text message campaign. I got on the phone and I called people. I told everybody I ran into.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's communication. I will be better prepared the next time to do that because I would have a team.
Right.
I wasn't prepared to have a team because, like I said, a lot of life was going on with me at the time.
Right.
And this time around on the next book, because there will be a next book,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
would have a team to help
Yeah.
me with that.
Okay. Well, that was my next question, which was what help would you have appreciated during the launching and the publishing and the writing process? Like,
Definitely
is
a
there
team.
a team?
Nobody should do this by themselves. I just
Yeah.
think that even though you can become a success by yourself, and it's
Yeah.
possible and doable because I know that.
Yeah.
But it just would be, I think, more enjoyable if
Yeah.
there were more hands, and I mean, it's just more to celebrate when you do it with other people.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
true. When I had my launch too, I also did it by myself. Like I did have my husband did manage to help me a little bit.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I was doing a lot of the texting and I had a very sore finger for about 2 weeks afterwards, just from tapping on my phone.
Yeah, but the work got done, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yes, it
it
got done
did.
and you
It
were
did.
successful.
Yes.
Congratulations to you as well.
Thank you. We've both been through the process.
Absolutely, absolutely. But you talked about earlier about what kinds of things, doors have been opened since doing this. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're coached by Dr. Jones, he makes you see your vision clearer than you've ever seen it before. And so with that, I was able to not just write the book, Moveology, but I actually have a magazine as well that sprung out of writing the book. And the
Yes.
magazine is a part of my funnel, if you will,
Okay.
and it will help women as
Yeah.
well, that read it. There will be, probably two sides to it. You have women who will read it just for the entertainment or whatever, but then there will be other women who will read it for the information that's in it, because there will be, tips for writers and things like that, and also features
Mm.
of other women who are best-selling authors, and they'll be able to share what their goals are for their businesses, like we're talking about tonight. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And how can people read your magazine?
Okay, so at the time the magazine is being written, there's a premiere that will be coming out really soon. I'm still editing, as a matter of fact, but
Yes.
I will be posting on Facebook, book, and Instagram. I'll
Okay.
post in both of those social mediums, and as well as LinkedIn, and let everybody know when it's
Great.
ready.
And what's it
Yeah,
called?
it's called Moveology.
Oh, it's
It's
called Moveology as well as your book.
yes,
So your
yeah,
book and the magazine are the same name.
they run together. Yes, Moveology, the magazine for female leaders. What did I say? Creatives and business, life and business coaches.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. Wonderful.
Mhm.
So what I've heard about the benefits of becoming a bestseller to your coaching business, but I'd also like to know, like as a person, how did becoming a bestseller benefit you personally?
Wow. Personally, it kind of makes you stand a little taller because, like I said earlier, it's an accomplishment. And it was an
Mhm.
accomplishment that I had no idea that I could achieve. And then once I
Mm.
achieved it, what's more powerful than that is I can actually teach other people how to do it now.
Oh, right. Right, right,
Yes,
right, right.
you can say share the wealth. I can actually teach other people how to do this best-selling business.
Yeah, yeah. Leverage what you learn, right?
That's right. That's right.
And have you helped other people to become best-selling authors?
I don't have a best-selling author yet. Those are things that are in the works.
They're in the work. Okay, okay.
I also have an anthology on the table, so you'll
Oh,
hear more
wow.
about that in social media as well.
Oh, how exciting. You have so many ideas.
I do. I'm spinning plates, but I love these plates.
Yeah.
uh,
So, so Coach Letha, what
yes.
advice do you have for other coaches who are thinking about writing a book?
I always like to begin at the beginning, and most of us who enjoy writing or fantasize about writing a book, there's a fear of putting it out there.
Hmm.
And so the advice that I would give to anybody who is considering it is to continue to write, and actually do it on a daily basis if you can, write,
Hmm.
journal, or whatever. Someone told me years ago, whenever you're working on a project like this, to have a notebook that you call your brain book. And what that is you just do a brain dump of whatever is on your mind, whatever comes to your head. Don't try to edit it. Don't try to do anything with it. Just write it down, and then you can go back to it and do what you need to do with it. So I would say have a brain book, but
Yeah.
more than anything, I would say the right every day, hire a coach is what it would. You gotta hire a coach.
Right.
Hiring a coach, it just takes whatever you're doing to the A game.
Right.
It really,
Investing
really
in
does.
yourself, right?
Invest in yourself,
Yeah.
and investing in yourself also makes you stand a little taller, because
Mm.
when you invest in yourself, um, you know what it took to get you where you are. So you can, like I said, it empowers you to empower other people.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes,
And do
that's
you
what
have
I would
any
say.
advice? Do you have any advice for like aspiring authors?
I would tell aspiring authors to don't be frustrated. Don't be frustrated with the time frame in terms of, where they are, and by the time they get a book published. Because
Mm.
as long as you're writing and as long as you're open, you're going to find somebody like a Dr. Jones who's going to help lead and guide you to the finish line.
Right.
Yes.
Right. 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 Yeah. You need to
Hmm.
share your story, right? You need to
Yes.
share your story so that people you can attract the help and the community that you are looking for.
And when you do that, you do attract your community. And I
Mm.
think what happens, especially with women, a lot of times we're focused on the circle that we have, and we don't take the blinders off and realize, as I mean, the world is such a big place.
Yeah.
I mean, look at us. I mean, you're in Taiwan, I'm in California.
Yes.
And so, I mean, the world is such a big place. You really have to take the blinders off and just realize that the world is big enough for all of us to have whatever we need in terms of sharing the knowledge, even making money.
Mm.
It may seem or feel saturated, but everybody has a place and a space in this thing.
Right.
Everybody
Right.
does. There is somebody somewhere praying to do or have what you're doing and having,
Mm.
and they're just waiting for you to offer it up.
The abundance mindset, right?
That's it. That's
Right.
it.
Right. Okay, well, thank you for sharing. I've
Well,
really
it's been a
enjoyed
delight.
talking with you. Is there anything else that you want to say at this point before we wrap things up?
Well, I want to say thank you for inviting me. This has really been great. But I do have something I want to share
Hmm.
about a program coming up in March. I will be
Hmm.
doing a 7-day publish challenge in March. And so that is another thing that people can watch the social media for.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
Wonderful. I'll keep my eye out for it.
Yeah. So did you want me to go ahead and give you my
Yes,
handles for
how can
Facebook?
we find you on social media? How can tell us how we can find you?
Okay, so on Facebook, you can just type in my name, Letha Elston, LethaElston. On Instagram, I'm Coach Letha, and then on LinkedIn, it's Letha Elston again.
Wonderful. And you have a Gmail?
Yes, and so you can contact me at my email address, which is flowlifeacademy at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. And if
Yes.
anybody missed any of those contact details, I'll make sure to put them in the video descriptions of
Okay,
this
that's
video
awesome.
and yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, listen, more power to you, blessings on everything that you're doing. And I just see that women's lives everywhere will be touched by what you're doing as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.